Hey, welcome back everyone. And if you are new here, a very big warm welcome to the City of English, the place where learning English feels like a real conversation, not a classroom lecture. I'm Jack, your host, your guide, and your English companion right here on this channel. And whether you're joining us from Bangladesh, India, Nigeria, the United Kingdom, the United States, Canada, or anywhere else on this beautiful planet, I am so happy you are here with me today. Now, let me tell you something about the City of English. This is not your average language channel. We don't just teach you rules and then leave you confused. No. We take English, we break it down into the simplest, most natural pieces, and then we show you exactly how to use it in your real, everyday life, in your job, in your relationships, in your travels, in your confidence. Because here is what I believe, and I believe it deeply. You don't need to know every word in the dictionary. You just need to know the right words and how to use them beautifully. And that is exactly what today's episode is all about. So sit back, get comfortable, maybe grab a cup of tea or coffee, and let's take a walk together through the City of English. Today's topic: how to speak English beautifully using just a few grammar structures based on real life. Today, I'm going to show you something powerful. I am going to show you that you do not need complicated grammar to speak impressive English. You only need a handful of structures. Used correctly, used naturally, and your English will sound confident, clear, and beautiful. We're going to go through 6 real-life grammar structures today, and for each one, I'll show you what the structure is, why it matters in real life, and real examples, the kind of sentences you will actually use. Are you ready? Let's go. The power of I am plus verb ing, present continuous. Let's start with something you probably already know, but maybe you're not using it to its full power. The structure is simple. I am plus verb ing. Now, why is this so important? Because in real life, when we talk to people, we don't just talk about facts. We talk about what is happening right now, in this moment. And this structure captures that perfectly. Listen to these sentences. I am working on a big project this week. I am learning how to cook Italian food. She is preparing for her job interview. They are building a new house near my neighborhood. Notice something? These sentences sound alive. They sound like something is actually happening. Something is moving. Something is in progress. Now here's the beautiful part. You can use this in conversations to sound incredibly natural. Imagine someone asks you, "What have you been up to lately?" Instead of saying, "I study English," which sounds flat, you say, "Well, I've been working on my English a lot lately. I'm really enjoying it actually." That sounds real. That sounds human. That sounds like someone you want to talk to. Jack's real-life tip. Use I am plus verb ing when you want to show that something is in progress, not just a general habit, but something actively happening in your life right now. It makes you sound engaged and dynamic. Beautiful section 2. Used to. Talking about the past like a storyteller. All right, let's move to something I absolutely love teaching because it completely transforms the way people talk about their past. The structure is used to plus base verb. This structure is magic. It lets you talk about something that was true in the past but is no longer true today, and it does it in a way that feels warm, nostalgic, and deeply human. Listen, I used to be very shy when I was in school. She used to live in a small village before she moved to the city. We used to eat dinner together as a family every evening. He used to work night shifts, but he changed jobs last year. Can you feel the emotion in those sentences? There's a little story in each one. There's a past life, a memory. And you can do this with your own life. Think about yourself. Think about something you used to do. Maybe a hobby, a place you lived, a person you spent time with. Now, say it out loud. I used to when I was younger. Practice that, fill in the blank, and notice how naturally the sentence flows. Jack's real-life application. This structure is perfect for job interviews, social conversations, and storytelling. Imagine you're in a job interview, and someone asks you, "Tell me about yourself." You could say, "Well, I used to work in customer service, which taught me a lot about communication. But over the past 2 years, I've been focusing on building my skills in digital marketing. Powerful, professional, and completely natural. Beautiful section 3. If I were you, giving advice like a pro. Now this one is so useful, and so many people are afraid of it because they think it's complicated. But I promise you, it is not. The structure is, if I were you, I would, plus base verb. This is how native English speakers give advice, gently, thoughtfully, without sounding too direct or bossy. Examples. If I were you, I would apply for that job immediately. If I were you, I wouldn't worry so much about what people think. If I were you, I would talk to your doctor about that. If I were you, I'd start saving money now before it's too late. See how smooth that sounds? It's respectful. It shows that you're putting yourself in the other person's shoes. That's empathy, and English has this beautiful way of expressing it. Now, let me show you how this changes a real conversation. Imagine your friend says, "I don't know whether I should quit my job or stay." You could say, "Well, if I were you, I would make a list of the pros and cons before making any big decisions. And if I were you, I'd also talk to someone you trust." Two uses of the structure. One natural, flowing response. That is the kind of English that makes people say, "Wow, your English is so good." Jack's tip. Notice I also used a contracted form, I'd instead of I would. In spoken English, we almost always contract. I'd sounds much more natural than I would in conversation. Use contractions freely. Beautiful section 4. Have you ever? The art of interesting conversation. Now here's one that will make you the most interesting person in the room. Have you ever plus past participle. This is the question form of the present perfect tense, and it is one of the best conversation starters in the English language. Examples. Have you ever traveled to another country alone? Have you ever tried something and completely failed and then succeeded later? Have you ever stayed up all night working on something you loved? Have you ever met someone who completely changed your perspective on life? These questions are powerful because they invite stories. They say, "Tell me something about your life." And people love to talk about their experiences. Now here's how you answer with the same structure. Yes, I have. I once traveled to Turkey all by myself, and it was one of the best decisions I ever made. Or, no, I haven't, but I've always wanted to. Someday, I hope. Both answers are natural. Both use the present perfect beautifully. Real life scenario. You're at a networking event. You meet someone new. Instead of saying, "What do you do?" which is so common and a little boring, you say, "Have you ever been to a conference like this before?" Immediately, the conversation becomes interesting. You're building a connection, and your English sounds sophisticated without being complicated. I wish I could. Expressing dreams and desires. Let me share one of my favorite structures because it touches something very human. I wish I could plus base verb, or I wish I had plus past participle. These structures let you talk about wishes, regrets, and dreams, and they make your English sound deeply expressive. Listen, I wish I could speak 5 languages fluently. I wish I could travel the world without worrying about money. I wish I had studied harder when I was in school. I wish I had told her how I felt before it was too late. Can you feel the depth in those sentences? There's a whole emotion behind each one. Now, here's the thing. This structure is not just for sad moments. You can use it positively, playfully, even humorously. I wish I could eat pizza every day without any consequences. I wish I could clone myself. There's so much to do. In English conversations, the ability to express your inner world, your dreams, your hopes, your little regrets, is what makes people feel connected to you. This structure does exactly that. Practice moment. Right now, I want you to pause, think of one thing you wish you could do, and say the sentence out loud. Say, I wish I could. Go ahead. No one's judging. This is your city. This is the city of English. The more something, the more something. sounding like an intellectual. Okay, we have arrived at our final structure today, and this one's a real gem. This one makes you sound not just fluent, but genuinely intelligent. The structure is, the more something, the more something else. It expresses a relationship between two things that grow together. Examples: the more you practice, the better you get. The more you read, the more you know. The harder you work, the luckier you become. The more you listen to English, the more natural it begins to feel. The more time you spend with positive people, the more positive your mindset becomes. This structure is used by writers, speakers, leaders, and everyday people who want to make a point powerfully and memorably. Think about it. If I said, practicing a lot makes you better, that's fine. But if I say, the more you practice, the better you become, that hits differently. It has rhythm, it has power. Jack's challenge. This week, I want you to use this structure at least once a day. In a message to a friend, in a journal entry, in a conversation. Just once a day. Write it down, say it out loud, and watch how your English transforms. Putting it all together. A real conversation. Now, let me show you something exciting. Let me show you how all 6 structures can work together in one short conversation. No script, no memorization, just natural, flowing English. Imagine 2 friends, Alex and Maria, catching up after a long time. Hey Maria, it's so good to see you. What are you up to these days? Oh, I'm actually studying for a certification in project management. It's keeping me really busy. Wow, that's amazing. Have you ever done anything like this before? Not really. I used to work in sales, which was completely different. But now I'm really enjoying this new direction. That's so inspiring. If I were you, I would be so proud of making that change. Thank you. That means a lot. Honestly, I wish I had made this decision earlier. But better late than never, right? Absolutely. And you know what they say, the more you challenge yourself, the more you grow. Exactly. That's what I keep telling myself every day. Did you catch all 6 structures? Present continuous, used to, if I were you, have you ever, I wish I had, and the more, all woven naturally into one short conversation. That is what fluent English looks like. Not complicated, not formal, not stiff, just real, human, flowing communication. Let's quickly recap what we covered today. 1. I am plus verb ing. Talk about what's happening right now, actively. 2. Used to plus base verb. Talk about your past with warmth and story. 3. If I were you, I would. Give advice naturally and empathetically. 4. Have you ever? Start powerful, interesting conversations. 5. I wish I could or I wish I had. Express your dreams and inner world. 6. The more. Make impactful, memorable statements. 6 structures. That is all. Master these 6. Use them every single day, and I promise you, your English will feel different. It will sound different. People will respond to you differently. Because language is not just grammar. Language is connection, and you're learning to connect beautifully. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of today's episode of The City of English. I want you to know, every single one of you, that I am incredibly proud of you for being here. Learning a language takes courage, it takes consistency, and it takes the willingness to make mistakes and keep going anyway. So keep going, keep practicing, keep showing up. And remember, this is your city. The City of English is a place built for people like you, dreamers, learners, people who want to communicate with the world. Friends, if today's episode helped you, even just a little bit, I have a small favor to ask. Please like this video. It tells YouTube that this content is valuable, and it helps us reach more learners around the world who need this just like you did. Leave a comment below. Tell me, which of the 6 structures is your favorite? Or write a sentence using one of today's structures. I personally read the comments, and I love seeing your practice. Subscribe to the City of English if you haven't already, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you never miss a new episode. We post regularly, and every episode is designed to help you grow. And if you know someone who is learning English, a friend, a family member, a colleague, please share this video with them. You might just change their English journey. We're building this city together. One word, one sentence, one conversation at a time. Until next time, this is Jack from the City of English, saying, keep speaking, keep learning, and never stop growing. Take care, everyone. I'll see you in the next episode.